Hey all, today is Friday, February 28th. About forgot the date. And it's been almost 3 months since my last video. So I just wanted to give everybody an update and let y'all know kind of how I'm doing and what's going on. So first off, we'll just kind of talk about the obvious. Look at this hair. It's today's extra crazy, extra tall, but it's growing in nicely. It's been about 6 months since my last chemo treatment, and so when my hair kind of started coming back in, I thought, oh, let's do a fun little faux hawk, or something that I would never do before, and now it's just maintained because I don't know how to fix short hair. So I'm hoping to get into my beautician here sometime, and maybe she can give me some pointers and what to do, because it's getting a little crazy, but it's fun. I'm just channeling my inner rock star is what I like to say, so why not, right? So last we spoke, like I said, was about a week post-op. Since then I have just been healing and trying to get through this whole process. My healing has went very well. I've seen my plastic surgeon a couple times and he's pleased with everything. It was not anywhere near as bad of a healing process as the double mastectomy was, thankfully. It just took a little time and just a little sore, but I'm still pretty numb up top, and that may change, it may not. Just kind of going with it. I did get a little infection on my right incision, just a couple spots. Just over time it kind of started getting red. Actually, it was just a couple of days. Got red, and then it kind of was a green oozy something. So I called my plastic surgeon, and he thought that, a stitch had just kind of popped and festered a little bit and caused a little infection. So got on an antibiotic and things were good there. No big deal. I have had treatment 3, 4, and 5 since the last video. They're all real easy. I go in for labs, I go see my oncologist, and then I do treatment. Total time's a couple hours for everything, so that's good. It's not like an all-day ordeal. I feel pretty good typically, maybe just a little bit of sluggish tiredness just because it's just hurry up and wait a lot. So anyway, but after my 3rd treatment, I kind of noticed that I was just not me. I was feeling really tired, just no motivation, gaining weight. My face was real dry, and then so was my scalp. My scalp reminded me kind of at the worst point that I would get like a sunburn on, if you get a sunburn on your head and it peels and it's kind of bigger chunks peeling off. That's kind of what it was, and I just couldn't figure out what in the world is going on. I made up an essential oil and coconut oil concoction to put on my hair, and I was putting it on every night, and started doing a little better, but it was still there. Well, before my 4th treatment, I called my doctor and I just telling him all this, like, it's just something is not right. I'm not me. And asked for a full blood panel, like any and every test possible. He said, no problem, we'll do that. I did know going in that immunotherapy can be tough on your organs. It can just kind of mess with you internally. Your body's trying to figure out what to do with all this extra immune boost, and sometimes it's just a little bit rough on certain areas of your body. So I thought maybe that could be it. I didn't know. Well, 4th treatment, I go and get that done and got my thyroid checked. My numbers came back high. They were still in the normal range, but the treatment before I was at 0.9, and then this one 4 weeks later I was at 2.3. So it upwards of 3 times doubled, and doctor was like, let's just try and do a low thyroid medication just to try and kind of get you back on track. So I had my 5th treatment this past week, and my numbers have went down to 1.25. So getting closer to where I was. I am feeling a little bit better. On my good days, I apparently overdo it, because then the next day I'm just like sluggish again and just tired, completely unmotivated. And so that's just a real hard thing for me to deal with, not knowing when I'm not going to feel good, or not knowing kind of my level of where I just need to kind of simmer down. So that's been a challenge. Hopefully things are kind of going to even out. My doctor thinks that after I get done with immunotherapy that my numbers should go back to normal, and I shouldn't have to stay on thyroid medication for the rest of my life, hopefully. I'm kind of not really anti-prescription, but I definitely like to try and do things more natural or holistic. And saying that, I went through chemo, but it's like I could try this that, might work or might take longer, or I could do chemo and I know it'll work, and as it should. All these studies and tests prove the fact. So it's just kind of a hard decision to make, knowing what I should do. But with the antibiotic for my incision infection, I just wanted to get it taken care of so I didn't have any long-term problems. Same with thyroid, I'm on it. I needed to get back to where I was, but hopefully after session 6, I'm going to try and maybe wean off of the medication and try something a little more natural and see how that works for 4 weeks, and kind of go from there. So thyroid is just a crazy organ. It just controls so much. Like I said, I was gaining weight, and it wasn't huge amounts, but it was just, a few pounds every doctor visit. And so over time that adds up, especially at the level of appointments that I have, that I keep weighing myself, and I'm like, geez, there's another pound. Oh, a couple more. Oh, great. Now my pants just are really not fitting so well. So it's just an adjustment for me. I've kind of always been the same size, so it's just different, but something that I'm really thankful that my doctor allowed me to voice my concern, and I just listened to my body. Like, I just knew it wasn't right. I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was, but again, as I've kind of always said, you are your biggest advocate. And so if something isn't right, go to the doctor, seek help. If you're not getting those answers, ask more questions, ask for more tests, go get a second opinion if you need to. There's no shame in that. You have got to stand up for yourself, because if you don't, who will? Essentially is kind of what it comes down to. So again, hopefully I'm on the mend in that area. So I keep rattling off my numbers. Treatment sessions, I will have 13 of them, and they should be done about October, November-ish, and hopefully all good things there on out. I do get a PET scan every 4 months or so, just again to make sure my organs are good, make sure no new cancerous spots have popped up. So I just had one a couple weeks ago. My results came back negative, completely negative. So I am still cancer free. I use that lightly because I'm not in remission, and that's when I really feel like that's like your turning point. I'm not in remission because I'm still seeking treatment. So anyway, just hope and pray my body continues to do what it needs to do. So I have a dermatologist appointment coming up. It's my quarterly appointment. So I say I'm cancer free internally. She's going to double check that nothing's popped up externally. Melanoma she's a tricky one. You just have to check everything, and it's just an ongoing process. So I just have lots of appointments still, just kind of my quarterly sessions. And then kind of the last thing that's been going on, my arm, I got kind of a side job, like a temporary job. I worked for this consignment shop that opens up 2 times a year, and I worked for several days, just kind of organizing and sorting and help customers and stuff like that. It was fun to kind of get out of the house, but I was still like trying to get my thyroid numbers balanced out. So I would be doing pretty good during work, and then the next day I'm just totally wiped out. Like I gotta sleep. It's just a crazy feeling because I would take my daughter to school, get up, get ready, take her to school, come home, sit down, and I'm like, man, I need to take a nap. So just that hour or two of activity and I would be tired and have to take a nap and get up again and, you know, pick her up or whatever else I had to do. So if you're in the same boat, just go see a doctor. They will make you feel better, I promise. So anyway, with this job, I was, you know, obviously more active and doing more things that I wasn't used to. And so my arm I'm in school pickup line, so I'll finish this real quick before I have to pick up my daughter. My forearm kind of started swelling a little bit. Basically, at the worst of it, any part that was kind of up against my body on my arm, from my wrist up to my armpit, was just really bothersome. My forearm kind of started swelling a little bit. My elbow got really tender. Like if I would try and touch it, it was just so tender, like it just, so sore. It wasn't like a muscle sore, just tender. So I went and saw my general surgeon again, and she diagnosed me with lymphedema, which is basically if you have surgery that's removing any lymph nodes, then that filter process is obviously gone, and so the proteins in your body can't be filtered properly, so it may cause swelling in your extremities. So I have that, and it's not a terrible case by any means, and it's already feeling much better, but I'm going to start physical therapy next week, and so it'll teach me ways to kind of massage and help that lymphedema, because it's probably going to be something that I will have the rest of my life, but very manageable. Also, I'll get to do physical therapy on the range of motion in kind of my right arm from that surgery, so I'm really looking forward to that. Being restricted and not having things the way they used to be is frustrating and just annoying. So anyway, hopefully I'll get all that taken care of and we will be good to go. So just miss you guys, and thought I needed to tell you what's happening. So again, thank you so much for the thoughts and prayers and well wishes, and again, forward my name on to anybody that might be going through something similar. I am more than happy to help them and kind of enlighten people on the process of all things cancer. So until next time, have a good one, and we will chat soon. Bye.